Hello, everyone. Welcome this evening. I'm going to be doing a rebuttal to Mark Collett on Speaker UK. There are plenty of things that need to be said about said monologue last night. So I'm not going to go through the whole thing because, again, like I did a stream earlier with Chris and the boys, and yeah, we covered like the woe stuff, and it was a bit bantery, and I kind of wanted just to like have this as a, shall we say, a more structured and serious kind of like discussion on this. Um, Maybe not too serious, but some things are pretty hilarious. What was said, especially about myself. So I'm only going to start about halfway through. I'm just going to go through the points. He is replying to Dion Secret Sources for most of the points, but I feel that most of the points that he was referring to have already been asked by us. Um, Many of the members of like 37 Gang, things like that. They've been asked of people, of Collett and PA many times, and then these were just questions that were again put on secret sources, as in a post, and Mark just kind of picked up on that. So I feel that we need to go through this because we were the ones asking it. Okay, so let us begin. So this is shortly after the woes section, and we'll start from here.
We have got more you might be interested in.
All right.
Please tell me if you can hear that.
Well, we'll move on to the next point. Dion then states, why does Patriotic Alternative state in its policy that it has been a registered political party in the United Kingdom from 2018 when the Electoral Commission have refused their applications twice and have confirmed by email that PA are not a registered political party in the United Kingdom? So again, rather than ringing me or speaking to me, she has gone to the Electoral Commission and thinks she has a smoking gun. Websites have errors.
Okay, right. So what Mark Collett's talking about here is the fact that it was pointed out by, I believe this was actually one of Dion's points. She actually pointed out that in their privacy policy, there was wording to the effect, and we've got a screenshot down here of said wording. Here it is. This was the original party privacy policy statement. About data protection. It's asking why the party is allowed to use your information in this way, which is PA claimed at the time that the party is a registered national political party in the UK. This at the time of obviously before the stream was not the case. It was changed, I believe, less than a day before the stream took place. It was not yesterday. Yesterday, I believe, it was changed to the new one, which is this one. This is now their new privacy policy statement. It now states the party is registered with Companies House in the UK. Okay, so they've changed it. Why is this such a big deal, right? And I will play the rest of the voice message from Collett before we go into why it's a big deal.
Nowhere in anything that I have written or Laura has written did it ever say we were a registered political party.
That's not kind of true, though, is it, Collett? I mean, it's right here. That's yeah. Oh, wait, you're not talking about your own privacy policy, which later you'll go on to believe. Wait, we'll see, won't we?
However, we were told that to comply with data protection, we needed a data protection policy. And we needed that very quickly to comply with something to do with the website we were using. And the guy who got it for us copied and pasted it from somewhere, and it was meant to be changed and updated, but due to the amount of work that went into building the website in a very short space of time, all done by volunteers, no one was ever paid for it, may I add. The people who did it are good-hearted volunteers. They copied and pasted a data protection policy from a registered political party and made an error of not changing it from registered political party to community-based political group. It was an error on the website, tucked away in a data protection article. She says in your party policy. Sorry, did she send the party policy? In its policy. What she doesn't say is it's in the data protection policy. It doesn't say it in, when you say policy on our website, people think of our 20-point plan. It was in a data protection policy. It was a copy and paste. It was done by one of our volunteers. But again, smoking gun that isn't a smoking gun.
Right, okay. So Collett has had this privacy policy, the data protection policy he's trying to claim it is, for 2 years at this point. Right. So the website was, well, if you believe Collett, it was started around early 2000, I believe. The website was finally up and running. So it's just under 2 years since they've had this privacy policy. And they didn't change it up until yesterday. Bit odd, isn't it? And now they've changed it. Why could that be? Well, there is one reason, and they kind of allude to it here, and that is because they had to comply with data protection, right? Now, this will come in. This will come in later because there's something that's going on in the background that no one knows about yet, and yeah, well, we may get to that, and it may account for why they've had to change this right now. No, I think because as well because of the pressure that people have put on like PA to actually like shape up. But this is severely like dodgy that they've left it for over 2 years if it's a copy and paste job, right? Which it seems to be, right? I've had people claim that it's from the English Democrats. It's a copy and paste from theirs. But again, is that really what is that illegal? I don't know. Needs a little bit more looking into, but I mean, 2 years you didn't do anything, and you claimed you're a political party for 2 whole years. That's like BP in the the oil spill, isn't it? You know. Oh well, you know it's cleaned up now, but it was a mess 2 years ago, right? It's kind of like, yeah, you fixed it now, but you lied for a year and a half more. I don't know. I don't know if that constitutes any kind of legal grounds. Maybe. Okay, so let's continue.
Now it's time for our second special guest of the night. Meant to be our first, but we had our surprise special guest, first special guest, so obviously Colin. Why is Charlie Big Potato still a member of Patriotic Alternative Limited? We don't actually have members. We only have supporters and activists. We have no membership fee.
Yes, the old member thing. That may come into play later, but let's get to Charlie, shall we?
She keeps saying member. She loves saying that, even though she knows fair well that no one has ever been a member and promoted by them when he has stated to another PA member that that member should give his children a quick death. Well, the person she's talking about has never really had anything to do with PA, but has made a serious accusation about Charlie Big Potatoes. I believe this to be a baseless allegation, but I'm not going to answer it myself. So, Charlie, can you explain how you've been stitched up with this one, please?
Yeah, there's a voice note going around of me, and literally all it says is what's the actual word? It's something around something like no, I don't think that should happen. They should probably be given a quick death. It's words to that effect, and I'll be lying if I told you I remember what I made that statement about.
Right, okay, Charlie. Let's help everyone out in the chat as well. Let's play the actual voice message, right? And this is from the guy called Punk Bastardo. He regularly frequents 37. Seems like a nice guy, to be honest. Yeah, he has mixed race kids, right? Okay, so someone asked in regards to this 8-second voice clip from Charlie, did Charlie once tell you to kill your kids? And he says yes. Now this is a voice note that was actually, in reference to Punk Bastardo's mixed race children.
Abandoning? No, certainly not. I would suggest a quick death would be the only appropriate outcome. Abandoning? No, certainly not. I would suggest a quick death would be the only appropriate outcome.
As you can hear there, I played it twice. It was abandon them? No. What the and that'll be very important coming up later. So let's hear what the rest of this section is.
But it certainly wasn't nobody's mixed race children, as is being alleged by these bad actors and idiots. But it's being passed around and passed off as though that was the statement that I made was to do with mixed race children. I can tell everybody now, in no uncertain terms, it wasn't. What it was to do with, I don't know. I don't remember the conversation. I must have, how long have I been on Telegram? Oh, a year and a half, 2 years now. I must have 10,000 voice notes still out there doing the rounds of things that I've said in answers to questions that I've been asked or conversations that have took place. What that voice note was in relation.
So can I ask? That could be about grooming gangs. That could have been about child killers. That could have been about a terrorist murderer who bombed people. It could have been about the Lee Rigby killers. You could have said, well, somebody said, do you think they deserve to stay in prison for the rest of their lives? And you could have been, I'm not saying you said it about them, but you could have been saying Lee Rigby's killers deserve just to be done away with.
It could have been about any of those. It could have literally been about any of those topics or those groups, any one of them. But I'd be lying if I sit here and said, no, it was to do with this or that or the other, because I genuinely cannot remember. But yeah, it's being passed off as though it was to do with mixed race children. Absolute nonsense. Complete and utter nonsense. These people want to paint us as monsters and evil people. It's just the bad actors. They've got bad intentions and they just want to demonize us. That's the reason I've pulled out of those. I've just pulled away from a few groups and deleted a few groups that I've got, because it's too easy for these people to simply come in, type whatever they want on an alternate account, leave, take a screenshot on the normal account and say, look what's in Charlie Big Potato's group. Look what Charlie Big Potatoes allows in his group. I've had that attack as well. It's just ridiculous. But what's the saying? It's all so tiresome, and it genuinely is. These people, they must be paid, because it is absolutely relentless. It's one attack after the other, day by day.
Okay, so we've let Charlie play out his little monologue. Now, again, the abandonment bit, let's play that again. So,
abandoning? No, certainly not. I would suggest a quick death would be the only appropriate outcome.
Okay, in what world, in any of the scenarios that Mark Collett kind of threw out there as a defense of Charlie, does abandoning people to prisoners, terrorists? Why abandon terrorists? That doesn't make sense. Abandon children? Well, yeah, you can abandon children, can't you? But as I say, I mean, Punk Bastardo there says it himself. He confirms that, yes, this was a conversation to him. And this voice note was aimed at him. Yeah. Moving on. There's nothing more to be said about that. It's fucking disgusting, isn't it?
But we press on.
We do indeed, and we're going to press on to the next question. The next one is, why did an admin threaten Chris Mitchell with a machete? Now, this is a very bizarre question, because when Dion says an admin, you'd think she means a PA admin. She doesn't. There was a chat group on Telegram. There was an admin in the chat group on Telegram.
Yeah, that chat group was the Eternal Struggle, and that is Charlie's chat group. Here we go.
She's claiming that the admin sent a note to Chris, a video note of him wielding a machete, threatening Chris Mitchell. Let me tell you the truth. It was not a PA group. The person who sent the note to Chris had a different username than the admin. These people claim they were the same people. The usernames were different. It was an admin in a different group. Yes, there were PA people in that group. There were PA people in numerous groups. She has again gone running to the police, but it is not linked to PA. I have seen the video. I do not know the person in the video. I have never met the person in the video. Laura has seen the video. She has never met the person in the video. She has never spoken to the person in the video. Neither of us have ever had contact with him. And I was given 2 usernames to check for, and said person has never ever been in any of our vetted chats, has never been in the PWR chat, and has never been in any of the other actual PA chats, not the gaming chat, not the fitness chat. He could be found nowhere. So this is a random account claiming to be linked to another account, which was an admin account that sent a video which contained a person making threats that nobody knows. This is not linked to PA at all. But again, she says an admin because it makes it sound like a PA admin. But cleverly, she didn't say.
Right. Okay. Here's the defensive down here. She's saying an admin in a chat. Right. She's not actually conflating it. You're trying to deflect here, Mark. You're trying to deflect from this video, right?
Yo, where you at, Chris? Wanna talk, mate? Have a nice chat with me and you.
Right. And this is said screenshot of the admins of the Eternal Struggle Telegram group before it was nuked. We have General Zod. This is Charlie Big Potatoes. He's the owner. Mark Collett is an admin. Lee 5G, 300 Smiths. That is Kenny Smith. James Goddard, Enoch. I think I know who that is. I think that might be Enoch Powell. And then at the bottom we have our guest of honor, PC Sniffs, admin. This is the guy who sent the video to Chris in their chat because Chris was in there under a note talking with the guy and he threatened him. Now they're trying to claim that this guy is different to the guy who sent the video. Well, yeah, you can actually send the video from an alt account. You can actually change your name as well at the time. PC Sniff, when this photo was taken, his name was PC Sniff, right? But here we have his new name is Chris Bitch Talk, aka Chrissy Sad Cunt, right? So he's obviously changed his name to it, and if I were to click here, no, I can't actually do it because it's oh, there it is. His account is hidden by the user, right? You can hide your account. There are many people who've done this, one being Kenny Smith as well. He's done that to hide from the fact that you can't be then traced back to anything you've done, right? Anything you've said in your voice notes that have been put out as a way to kind of deflect from the fact that you've said something or you're hiding from something. In this case, the video of the Machete and wanting a chat with Chris, right? So when she says it's not a PA admin, you're right. He probably wasn't in any of the PA groups. I mean, we don't know. We can't check because we're not in those groups. We just have to take Collett's word for it at this point. But we can say that yes, he was linked with admins in Charlie's group. Now, normally you don't make people admins unless you know them, right? You don't randomly give people admins, yeah? Unless you've at least talked to them and know them, and right? That's the general assumption here. So they knew this guy. They're barefaced lying to you here about saying they don't know this guy, right? You don't know a guy, but you make him an admin. Okay, that doesn't make sense. Moving on then to the next.
PA admin, she just said, why did an admin? But it sounds very intriguing. It's not. Next question. And this one is a real Good one. Why did PA continue to allow a minor who already has a criminal record due to his connections with PA to remain as a member? Very interesting. She keeps using the name member. We've already said we don't take memberships.
Paid memberships, maybe, Mark, but again, I think we should interject here with the membership thing. They'll say this a few times throughout the recording, and there will be, well, yeah, they keep alluding to how, you know, they don't have members, and, you know, the only members are Mark and Laura, right? Well, then what is all the vetting procedure for? I may be getting ahead of the game here, but yeah, there are members, and we got an email from Yorkshire PA to confirm that yes, they do call them members. But let's continue.
She knows that. But she's meant to be a police officer. Bear that in mind. Bear in mind what I just said. Being completely dropped. He was free to go. He was arrested, but there was no evidence he committed any crime. That was the end of it. He was not charged. He was not found guilty in a court of law. He does not have a criminal record. That is very important. You only have a criminal record if you have been found guilty in a court of law. Now, I will say this. If the person we were talking about was a common or garden member of the public, they might not know that a criminal record is when you're found guilty in a court of law. They might think just being arrested gets you a criminal record, but it doesn't. To have a criminal record, you need to be found guilty in a court of law. Dion, as an ex-police officer, would know exactly what you would need to do to attain a criminal record. She would know the process.
Yeah, Mark may be correct on this one. And I need someone who knows law better than, well, me, to explain that. I've had to look, and it seems to be correct that, yeah, under criminal law, if if you're prosecuted under court, then you are given a criminal record. That isn't correct. I'm more than willing for someone to correct me on this. So we'll continue to keep moving forward.
Why would she know the process? Because she's meant to be an ex-police officer. Yet she disingenuously claims that young Barclay Walsh has a criminal record. He is still involved with PA. He does not have a criminal record.
Yeah,
in fact, quite the opposite. It was proved that he had done nothing wrong. He does not have a criminal record. Legal. A 16-year-old child has already been arrested for posting leaflets for PA, yet this organization continued to ask people to break the law. Again, false. This is a completely false claim.
I'm sorry to interrupt, Mark. Listen, we know the name. No. Have we got an image of this female?
Yes. I'm sure you can be provided with one, but I'm just going to get to the end of this point.
Okay, so this is actually a good point. Actually, the guy interjecting here is called Dave LaPond. I've had many interactions with him myself, and it's really odd that, like, during the whole woes section, they're talking about a young girl who supposedly didn't go to the police on Mark's claims, but there may in fact be, there is evidence to suggest that they have made contact with the police. And now Dave is asking for a photo of said young girl, right? It's a bit, and Mark is happily to oblige. Is he happy to just give out people's pictures and information? Just like that? Oh yeah, sorry, yeah, there's this girl who's accused of something. Yeah, just give out people's pictures and shit. Seems a bit dodgy, and it may come back to bite him in the arse later, right?
The leaflet was proved completely legal because Barclay was released. Had Barclay Walsh not been released, had he been charged and found guilty, the leaflet could be deemed illegal. The leaflet was deemed legal because the police released him. She knows this. She knows fair well he was released. She knows he doesn't have a criminal record. And the police said, you Barclay Walsh put this leaflet out and there was no case to answer. Hence, the activity of putting the leaflet through the door and the leaflet itself is legal. This is again another lie. Question 8, a follow-up again to this question, asks, isn't that just plain stupidity with 2 question marks? Well, firstly, stupidity is using 2 question marks at the end of a sentence, and it is not stupid to put out legal leaflets. We are operating totally within the law. The next 2 questions, 9 and 10, I answered on a previous stream. And then she starts complaining, why do PA vet their supporters? We are not the only people who vet our supporters. Lots of nationalist groups on the continent and other nationalist groups in the UK vet their supporters. The Traditional Britain group, who Dion has also been attacking recently, vet everyone. They demand everyone who comes to their meetings provides proof of who they are, or they don't allow them to come. It's as simple as that. We vet.
Do every single member have to have a house visit, though? That's the question.
Our people, because we have been attacked, our regional groups have been attacked on numerous occasions by Antifa. The Southeast organizer Theo stepped down after being punched in the face by Antifa. Sam and Laura got attacked while leafleting. Sam defeated the attackers and sent them packing. Thankfully, his pregnant wife didn't suffer. We have also had several other interactions, most notably in London, with Antifa. Why do we vet our people? We vet our people because if they provide us with documents to prove who they are, we then are sure that if they turn up and attack us, we know who they are. This creates a safe environment for our people. We have to do this because the state refuses to prosecute Antifa, who are violent communist thugs.
Right, okay. So, bold claim that the state refuses to prosecute Antifa thugs. Yeah, they may not prosecute the Antifa part, but they do prosecute the thugs. They don't. This is the thing. They do actually prosecute these people. These violent people. So I don't know what you're on about. You're trying to claim victim, like, oh, no one's being prosecuted. Well, the law does do this. Like, the thing is, Antifa is, yeah, it's not proscribed or a terrorist organization like he wanted it to be, Mark. But the people within who are, in the black bloc or whatever, who do get found, and have been committed a crime, they do generally get prosecuted. Yeah, that's a fact. So I don't know where you got this idea that they don't prosecute these people. Just the fact that just because Antifa isn't slapped on the court proceedings, right? Antifa member, you say that they're not actually part of Antifa, but they are. They're just not under Antifa name, right? It's a bit like, when people in National Action got proscribed and, they got taken to court, it was under the National Action name because they had formed a group, right? Antifa have decentralized their operations, so it's cells basically. So it's very hard to pin. There is no head office for fucking Antifa, is there? You can't just go down to bloody some street in London and be like, oh, that's the Antifa officers, right? It's not a legitimate organization. Okay.
This creates a problem for us. If the state refuses to police these people, we have to take quite unfortunate steps such as vetting to ensure the safety of our supporters and activists, the same way that Traditional Britain Group do and the same way that numerous groups do on the continent. This is not a funny thing. This is not a strange thing. This is not a nice place to be, but most people will understand why they do this, and those who don't, when explained to them, they will usually take it on board and see it from our point of view. And they would certainly see it from our point of view if they were attacked by one of these masked thugs. And then if they went to the police and got the usual response of the police aren't interested in investigating because they won't prosecute Antifa, they would certainly see it from our point of view. We have family events. We do not want families being attacked by these monstrous left-wing terrorists. She then says, why do PA Why have PA installed a highly encrypted database? Well, we vet people. We take people's details. When we have vetted people, we encrypt data people send to us because we care about the safety of our members. So if anything happened to a computer with that data on it, the data is completely safe. Do you think the Labour Party and the Conservative Party encrypt their data? I guarantee they do. They will have a locked membership list that you will need password access to, and only few people will have the password. She talks about encrypted databases. She talks about cybersecurity as if anybody who secures their membership data has something to hide.
Is there something to hide, Mark? We know that the reason you're encrypting most of these like data things isn't just for your members, is it? It's also for lists of political opponents. And we'll get to my stuff in a bit, but you know, this is the preceding kind of foreplay of it. Yeah, he's beginning to. He'll get onto my stuff, but yeah, you do encrypt such devices for nefarious purposes, and I will bring it up in just a second. Here we go. Encrypted pen drive, PDF 1.7. Pen drive encryption, patriotic alternative, registered officer, support documentation, authored by Steve Blake, National IT Support, PA, Eastern Deputy Regional Organizer, commissioned and edited by Kenny Smith, National Advisory Council, PA Scotland, Admin Officer. And the date this was done on was the 20th of the 2nd, 2001. Okay, so Mark claimed there was no nefarious reasons for hiding such data, right? So where do we find it? Let's go down here. Here we are. Right, okay. This is in the support document. It's on page 12 of 21. You will find, remember to, an exceptionally unlikely event that the authorities will arrest a law-abiding citizen like yourself and at the same time seize a pen drive that hasn't been destroyed, that this is the password you will give them in order to avoid them prosecuting you for refusing to disclose a password. Right, okay, so it's clearly intent that these encryption devices are used when you're unable to destroy the evidence. Okay, and what does that evidence entail? Well, I will then bring up the document that is here. It is the SAF template docs. We have not Word. So Mark claims nothing nefarious. So in the Scottish anti-fascist template, we have name of individual you're looking at, all contact details, right? So phone number, address, all social media links, anti-fascist connections, other useful information. This will then go on to a Telegram page, the SAF page. And then there is also documentation for info for not for the channel, information not needed for identification but important to intel gathering, like how many cats they have or what color car there is or things like that. Non-personal information, but still relevant for finding these people. Political opponents, basically. That's what they're hiding on these pen drives, right? And you may think, well, you know, it's okay, right? We just, you know, you hide these things. You don't want your enemies to know that you're looking at them, or you know, in this perceived case, it's Antifa, right? You don't want to, you know, you want to keep the information of like radicals and people who want to hurt your people. Okay, but that's not the case in the, shall we say, PA's case, because it isn't purely defensive. And we'll get onto this later. I probably jumped the gun here, and well, Mark will mention this later. Yeah, so it isn't really encrypted for the sake of protecting just PA members' data, right? It is also for political opponents, which under UK law, I believe, is an offence for you if you were to like build a list of political opponents. I don't think the Tory party or the Labour Party are building lists of political opponents. They're going to go around their house and smash their doors in and steal their devices and maybe potentially hurt the people, right? If you've listened to any of the Kenny Smith voice notes that are out there. So that's that. We will now continue on.
Well, they do. They do have something to hide. They have their members' data, which they have to secure. This is a sensible precaution. Who here doesn't have a lock screen on their phone? Why do they have a lock screen? Because if they drop it or somebody takes their phone, people don't want all their private documents to be viewed by a thief or a chancer who manages to get their hands on their phone. Keeping your computer locked or password protected or encrypted is very, very normal.
Correct. I mean, keeping your phone locked is, yeah, but do you need a double lock on your phone? Do you need 2 passwords to get into information? You probably didn't want to. That's like having, all your text messages behind another lock screen inside your lock screen. Like if you didn't put in the right number when you did on the lock screen, you wouldn't get this information. It's like you're trying to hide something. And as we've seen here, well, they're trying to hide, lists of political opponents, which is technically illegal, isn't it? As if you watched the Dowson, Griffin, and Jada stream, which was done a few weeks ago now, you'll notice, that is under UK law, illegal, and be used for in terrorist activities. Because I'll have to get up the clip later, but yeah, there we go. We'll continue.
In the British National Party, we had a system called PGP, which was encrypted end-to-end email for anyone dealing with membership data. This wasn't unusual. This wasn't out of the ordinary. This wasn't revolutionary. It is called best practice. She knows that. She used to work for the police. 13. Why haven't PA employed a data protection officer to control the highly sensitive information held on their members, don't have members, that they have been collecting since 2008, according to their own policy? 2018, sorry. Firstly, typo, already did the 2018 typo.
Yeah, but that's also, I haven't got the information to hand here, but that's also a kind of deflection, because from what we understand, PA actually registered their website in 2017. So Mark has had the website since then, registered, the domain name. Obviously, I think it was then built out later on, but yeah, it's kind of like, right. I don't know if that's important to anything just yet, but it may do in the future. Right. Okay. So let's go.
Secondly, and more importantly, we do have a data protection officer. She could have rung me. She could have written to me. We do have one.
Yes. Now this is coming up to the big juicy thing that we're going to talk about here. There is a data protection officer in PA. I actually know who the data protection officer is, and the data protection officer cannot be the same person as who it is, because that would be illegal. And well, let's just say they are in I believe they are in talks to appoint a data protection officer, but at this current time there is an acting data protection officer that is not quite up to board, right? Okay, so more will come on this later once things on the back end have seen it through and we find out what's actually going on. But let's just leave that like juicy little hook there for you.
End of story. Very simple answer. 14. Why have PA members used intimidation tactics to vet members? We haven't. Ridiculous, ridiculous question. 15. Why did Kenny Smith, PA Scottish leader, ask Fraser Hudson, aka Madfraz, to commit a crime?
That's me, guys. That's me.
Now, this is where Dion makes her false police report. I said earlier, she issued a false police report to counter terrorism. It was over this issue.
A false police report? Has she actually... how do you issue a false police report? Either you, like, file a police report, or you... How can you... That doesn't make sense. Are you trying to say that what she did was false and incorrect in doing so, or... I really find it hard to understand what you're actually saying there, Mark. Are you saying that she shouldn't have done it, or she did file a police report but she's lying about it? Because I think she did by her own admission, right? Did she not go and see counterterrorism? She did those videos. She did the email. Like, explain maybe more.
Patriotic Alternative has been attacked by Antifa. The bigger we get, the more we attract their attention and the more they want to hurt us. This is a serious issue because we care about our supporters. We care about the people who go out and leaflet for us. We don't want them to be attacked. And we certainly don't want families at family events to be harmed in any way. That is pretty obvious. I think we all understand that point by now. So I'm not going to labor it any further. But what I will say is this. We are in a position where the police will not, will not follow up any of these Antifa attacks. When Theo, our former Southeast regional organizer, reported the assault to the police refused to even come to the scene and take a statement. They just left him. They left him. Now, imagine if one of us had assaulted somebody. The police would have been there in moments.
How do you know that? How do you know that, Mark? That's a bit of a leap. That's, again, we're victimization. You know, I'm playing victim here. Oh, you know, they're not going to do this for us. But if it was us, they would be there instantly. You don't know that, do you? I mean, whether this story would have to be corroborated with Theo. Can you get Theo's side of it? Did he actually report it to the police? Would you have called him a grass if he did? Because you know, I get the distinct feeling from your followers, Mark, that anyone who talks to the police is a grass, right? And you know, being beaten up, that's okay, right? It's when you're beaten up. That's okay. You can talk to the police then. Certain times when you can't. Right? What about when people come to your door at 7 a.m.? Is that okay? You know, are you allowed to ring the police then? Because people keep giving you a lot of slack for, you know, when you get sent 2 guys around your house and you don't know who the fuck they are. But it's the morning after you start putting out voice notes about Kenny's rather dodgy activity and references to do with the Scottish anti-fascist group, right? Yeah, it seems like you're trying to intimidate a witness. I don't know. Is that now? Are you grassing now if you're going to the police when they threaten you? Yeah, we'll have to think on that one, won't we, Mark?
He was left standing, bloodied, and had to just get on with things. You know, imagine if he'd got a concussion. Imagine if something genuinely serious had happened to him. The way that police treated him was as if he was the criminal for being assaulted. Absolutely sickening.
Wait, whoa, a minute. Wait, walk that back. Right, he said they wouldn't even come and take a statement, yet now they're trying to treat him as the guy who did it. So they did come, Mark. Let me play that back. What the fuck was that? Was that just magic? Like,
they just left him. They left him. Now, where the police will not, repeat, will not follow up any of these Antifa attacks. When Theo, our former Southeast regional organizer, reported the assault to the police refused to even come.
Right, so the police refused to come to take his statement, but now
to the scene and take a statement. They just left him. They left him. Now, imagine if one of us had assaulted somebody.
Right.
The police would have been there in moments. He was left standing, bloodied, and had to just get on with things. You know, imagine if he'd got a concussion. Imagine if something genuinely serious had happened to him. The way the police treated him was as if he was the criminal for being assaulted.
Right, okay. So he's actually saying that it's a hypothetical situation that by not turning up, they're treating him like the criminal. Mark, I don't know if you know, but even if that was the case, they would have turned up. Like they would, you know, if Theo was beating Antifa up, they would have turned up. Like maybe they didn't turn up as soon as you wanted it to, but they would turn up. Like this is it. Like so, how do you know the statement was never taken again? How do you know he went to the police? Was he even like told to go to the police, or was because we know PA have an anti. There is a streak in nationalism, as they call it, on this that is very anti-police. So did Cleo go to actual police then as well? I suspect he didn't, and you're just using this as like leverage here. So maybe you can like, because if you did actually phone the police, like I did, when those two guys came around my house, you would have had a police number. So maybe you could have handed out the police number, right? So that's normally how they operate. They give you a police number. So I could give you the one to do with the guys who came to my house. Where's Theo's police number? There should be some evidence for it. But again, I feel that there may have been a case of we don't talk to the police, so just get on with it, Theo. Maybe that's why he left PA as well. Because you don't actually give a shit. You just don't want to get PA in trouble for mistakes you've made.
Absolutely sickening. So, what did Kenny Smith ask Fraser Hudson, aka Madfraz, to do? Well, he asked him to do something quite sensible. Now, Fraser Hudson,
quite sensible. Now, wait for it.
aka Madfraz, weighs 30 stone. He is on disability benefit because he weighs 30 stone.
No, I'm not on disability benefit because I weigh 30 stone. I'm on universal credit because, you know, I have a problem with my legs, my feet, and I've been openly honest about this. And this is the thing, isn't it? Like, they'll just use anything you tell them. They'll throw it back at you. Like if you decide to leave, or this intimidating people. I think one of the questions was threatening people. Yeah, try and leave PA and see the shit you get flung at you. Like, yikes! I'm only so glad that like I didn't tell them my life's fucking story, because yeah, it would have got thrown at me because they're disingenuous CUNTs. There we go. Right, we'll continue with the character assassination right now.
He doesn't leave the house. He lives off takeaways. He gets everything delivered to his house.
Right, this is really odd. Like, is it like, how would you know that information unless, I'm not saying it's true, but like, how would you know that information unless I may have told, like, I may have said something about home deliveries or something like that, but ordering takeaways, it's like every day? No. Like, where's that come from? Seems a bit odd. You'd say that. Starts getting me noggin jogging. Like,
he weighs 30 stone. So this rather large individual essentially has a lot of time on his hands. He doesn't go out. So Kenny Smith said, would you like to help us with what we are going to do to try and stop ourselves being attacked by Antifa? Now, Fraser Hudson said he would like to help, which was good of him. So Kenny Smith said to him, we are monitoring the biggest and most violent Antifa groups that are threatening to attack us. We would like you to help. We would like you to monitor their Facebook groups, monitor a couple of their other groups, monitor their Telegram groups, because some of them are being very vocal about things they would like to do to PA supporters. And we don't want to attack them. We don't want to fight them. We want to avoid those people.
Yeah, no, that's not true, is it, Mark? That's the lie, isn't it? If it was purely a, shall we say, defensive measure, right? Okay, yeah, you could, watch these people and, keep tabs on them and not want that. But your boy, Mr. Smith, doesn't see it that way, right? Let's have a look at what he said he would do with the Doxers guy.
Yeah, it's fucking infuriating, isn't it? Because just if he'd shared that detail and we pinned him down to a street, that, the instruction would have been, this is our number one activity for these next weeks, till we ident him, get his house, and that's it. Within we just then I don't need to put details in it, but you know what happens then.
Oh yes, I do, Kenny. I do know what happens. From what you've told me, you will take his devices and leave him worse for wear. I mean, you've literally. I mean, what does poof mean? That's a very ominous sound, isn't it? Yeah. Don't act favorably in the kind of eyes of this. Oh, we're only doing it for offensive benefits, guys. We just don't want them attacking us. Sounds like you're going on the attack with this guy, doesn't it? And that's where it got dodgy for me, right? Hearing this over and over and over again, this alluding to violence, and attacking the opponent. It's stupid. Like, you attack these guys, you take their devices, right? What happens when your belief that they're too afraid to go to the police outweighs their actual willingness to do so? You've got a problem then, haven't you? Right? Maybe it won't be the first guy, the second guy, third guy, right? But eventually one of them may do. And then, well, the waterworks open, doesn't it? You've been attacking people, not too similar to something that was set up between the NF and the BNP. Do you remember Red Watch 1.0? I've got a video to show you about what Red Watch was or happened in Red Watch, because Red Watch actually had people arrested for shit they did, right? And these were political beatings, right? So let's play this video.
Andy introduces me to Mark Collett, the man widely tipped to become a future leader of the BNP. When council candidate Dave Midgley asks him about the Red Watch site, Collett doesn't quite toe the party line.
I was looking at the website the other day and someone mentioned about the Red Watch. What are these? What is it? The NF run it. It's basically just a hit list of Reds that need to answer. That guy wants it big time.
The man Dave Midgley thinks needs it big time is a local councillor.
Could it be arranged that he goes onto the Red Watch site?
It could if you send it. If you send them a scanned picture, it's nothing to do with me. Well, it's got. As I said, it's all you do. Just send it to the thing. It's actually an explanation of who he is, where he lives.
But who would we send it to?
You've just got to send it to their contact address on their thing. Scan a picture, email it to them, say who he is, what he's been doing, a bit of background about it, and they'll pop it up.
Uh-oh, that's not good, is it? People were arrested for that, and again, let's get our thinking caps on here. How the fuck did the police not like question Collett over Red Watch? Seems a bit odd. Like, here he is literally saying what would happen, and he seems to know about the site and what it does, because I believe the party line in the BNP was to just deny Red Watch, right? Deny, any involvement with it. He seems to know what it is and what it does, and even how to contact them. Yeah? Bit odd. Now we've got the similar thing happening within PA. Oh dear, is history repeating itself? Is this the kind of look you want on your squeaky clean organization? I don't think so, do you? Like, this is kind of the stuff that would bring down the BNP, and, it was, you'd label your organization, I mean, back then there was less laws involved. Now we've got God knows how many more for this kind of thing. And it's, all of this has led to this. It's extremely dodgy to like see the connection here between both of them. Like, the threats going on the offensive. It's not defensive, is it? Purely. So we'll continue.
It is absolutely, But that this is a problem. There are people who panicking like him. He said, "Oh, people are getting doxxed." So if this hadn't get ended for another 4 months, I wouldn't have lost sleep in it if the end result was what we needed, because
Right. The end result is what we needed. What do you think that was? Sounds very ominous, doesn't it?
we're telling people how to behave and how to profile themselves online. If they don't listen, then what can we do? If they're happy to be open, happy to open. I mean, you've seen it. It's had zero effect on you. In fact, I think you've become a more confident individual since. Tell me if I'm wrong, but I feel that it's helped you have a bit more of a release and openness. And it's wonderful living, being able to use your name and not be 300 Spartans. It's yeah. So
there we go. There's Kenny's little rebuttal. Okay, let's continue with the speaker chat.
However, they do not wish to avoid us. They wish for direct confrontation with Patriotic Alternative and its supporters. We do not wish for any confrontation at all with those people. In fact, quite the opposite. We wish to be left alone so we can just get on with what we do best, which is our community building. However, when confronted with this, Madfraz, Fraser Hudson, decides in his infinite wisdom that he doesn't have the time to do this. He doesn't have the time to do this. And he goes running to Dion at a later date, and he explains to Dion what he was asked to do. He was asked to keep tabs on people who wanted to hurt us because the police won't stop those people. This is very, very good of us. It shows that we have foresight. It shows that we are trying to protect those people who come to our events. It shows that we are trying to protect the families and the other people who are basically wanting to come to PA to have good events, good PA events, and meet decent people. That's all we were trying to do. So where am I going with this? Where am I going with this Madfraz issue? Dion then decides that we have committed a terrorist offence. And you're probably listening to this scratching your head. What particular terrorist offence have we committed? Well, I don't know. But
I'll show you what terrorist offence you've committed, Mark. Where is the second document? Useful info and links. Here is a Word document with useful links and individuals to check out. Alex Wilson. Who's he? Angus Brown. Anna Fox. Brandon Renwick. All these people, right, on this document. Guess what they all have in common? They are supposedly supporters of anti-fascism, right? This is what is illegal, collecting this, and then obviously with the intent to what? Go around their houses and like talk to them or take their devices or hurt them maybe. Yeah, the prosecution, the state would look at this and say, well, this is material for use in a terrorist act under current laws. Yeah, it may not be fair, and you may think, well, what the hell, like, or whatever. But this is the way they've defined it. If you think you can go above and around the law in this and skirt it by hiding shit on pen drives, they're gonna fuck you hard then, aren't they? Holy shit. Like, and this is where many people have started to think, holy shit, this is a honeypot. You have all this stuff on your devices. They find this, you don't give them the password, they break it open. They find they actually can get into these devices, according to testimony from Jada Franson. Yeah, if you don't give over these devices and they find that there's a partition that's encrypted, another petition, right? It's not cat photos or whatever. Yeah, that's prison sentence in itself. Yeah, but then having the list like this, it's dodgy as hell, isn't it? Like, yeah, that's the material that could be used in a terrorist attack in their eyes. Why have we got this? Why do we need this? Why are we fighting Antifa? Like you said, you wanted to be left alone. Like, but here we have confirmation from Kenyan that they don't want to leave these people alone. They want to go on the offensive, it seems. And again, the propaganda you guys are putting out all of a sudden as well. Like, you just recently had a paintballing session where you role played anti-fascist versus nationalists. Paintballing, role play. You were simulating a armed conflict in a court of law. If someone's passed that to the jury and said, what do you think of that? Does this look like it's training material for a some kind of revolutionary or kind of violent act? You've literally got an anti-fascist flag and your own flag, and you've literally confirmed in the stream you did last night on the update stream for September that it was a role play event, right? Yeah, it's looking incredibly dodgy, is it not? Like, this is the stuff you want to avoid. You need to be squeaky clean. You need optics. My God. Why do I have to tell you this? Fuck's sake. You've been in this game 20 years, Mark? What the fuck? Right, let's continue.
Went to counterterrorism and told them that we had committed some kind of absolutely heinous offence whereby we had put people at risk. Had we? No. Why did she say this? Don't know. Was it malicious?
You have lists of people,
I believe
Mark.
It was malicious. I believe that she made a malicious complaint
Lists of political
about
opponents. Fucking
PA. We have no intention of going out and looking for Antifa. We have no intention of scrapping with these people. We have no intention of getting into confrontation with these people. But we do have the absolute right to defend ourselves should those people come looking for trouble with us. We have the right to defend our members. Sorry, not our members. We don't have members. We have a right to defend our activists and supporters. That is just a fact. And if we didn't try to defend our activists and supporters, we would basically be failing in one of our primary aims, to ensure that people who come to events and meetings were safe. She took this safety precaution and tried to turn it into something it wasn't, so she could submit a false police report. Okay, next issue. I've already done this one. I talked about the National Action Camp, which wasn't a National Action Camp, and she called it that. I talked about that earlier. She said that I attended this camp that was illegal. Wasn't illegal at all. It was totally legal, run by a group called Western Spring, run by a guy called Max Musson. I never hid that I went to the camp. I was never deceptive with anyone about going to the camp. Why would I be? It was a legal nationalist event. Why would I be worried about attending? And actually, if I want to go hiking and camping with people and I'm not breaking the law, why would I hide it?
Well, this is a point that's going to come up later in some research I will be doing. There is something in the law that was passed when national action was prescribed that says that if 3 national action members are at the same event, the authorities can then claim that the event itself is a national action event because of those 3 individuals are there, right? So this becomes a concern mark when you are seen with recorded on this ITV news footage, right? Of basically you've got a camp kind of like knife training defensive gym session. You're using pads and kickboxing, and yeah, you're deflecting people who come at you with knives and that, right? Okay. And there are 2 NA guys there, right? Former NA guys, yeah, right. This was in 2017. The group had already been prescribed, so this law was in effect. 2 people had turned up, right? How many other people in that group may have been NA supporters who weren't wrapped up in the thing yet? And then in the future, how many people in PA are NA members, right? Because think about this, right? You have another camp, Mark, and say some NA members turn up to your camp and there's 3 of them there, and they're known members, ex-members of National Action, because you can't be members, can you? Right, yeah, prescribed. Then there's a problem, because then that will be considered by the authorities as a national action gathering. And if it happens multiple times, right, in across the country or whatever you're doing, right, and even in smaller ones, then it's going to start to look like you're just another off branch of NA, right? Which is dangerous for everyone in nationalism, because then it just fucks everything again, right? And again, like Griffin pointed out in the Dowson, Jada and Griffin stream on Patriotic Alternative, they want this kind of thing. They want to prescribe people, right? They're looking for those French-style laws, right? I have no reason to doubt that that is the case, because in this very 2017 video, the Hope Not Hate guys are literally saying that. They want people proscribed, right? I'll put up the video where, I don't think I've got it. Where would I find the video? I'll have to get that later. Right, I will get the video later, and I will play it. In fact, you know what? Right now, I'm going to take a 2-minute break, okay? I'm just going to get a drink. Be right back. Oh, is it not? Is it not? Fuck. Oh, shit. I'm sharing my screen. Shit. Okay. Okay, right. I've just been informed that there's a problem with the screens or something, so you can't actually see the video. So what haven't you actually seen, guys? Let's have a look. I'll show my screen again. Screen. Share. Okay. So can you not see this? If I do that. It's gonna be hard to tell. Can you not see that? Don't know if you'll be able to see it. Tell me in chat. Working. It's working now. We haven't seen anything. D-live streams are the best. Yeah, okay. So. Right. Okay. So I don't know what's actually like not been shown or not. That's not good. Right. Okay. All right. I'll continue, and I'll have to like fix this somehow. Right. Okay. I'll just release the group information at the end in the comment section. That should be enough. Right. If it's working now, that's fine. Okay. So yeah, let's continue. All right.
Well, I wasn't hiding it. She said I was hiding it. And the reason she said I was hiding it is because she wanted people to believe I was hiding it. Not hiding it, telling all of you now, told everyone at the time, didn't hide it when I went. I think, in fact, I made it clear on social media. I don't have my Facebook, but when I used to go to those events, I would regularly state afterwards, been to this event, had a great time. It was good. Next is Laura's wage, and we're getting to the bottom of the barrel now, guys. This is the next smoking gun, and this is how vindictive she is. Now, quite some time ago, when Laura did not run Grandma Towler's tea, what Laura stated, or what I stated, was that I wouldn't take a wage from PA within a year of us starting to take donations. And not only haven't I, but I haven't taken any donations ever. I've never taken a wage from PA. I said the only person who'd take a wage or a salary from PA is Laura. And Laura kindly accepted that. And I repeatedly made that pledge that it isn't for me, that the money wasn't for me, that Laura was the most important person because she was doing great work with the website. She needed the financial help, so she would have the wage. And this is what Dion said. This is what Detective Dion said. She has now made numerous posts and accusations about this because on Tea Time with Sam and Laura, somebody asked, does anybody take a wage from PA? That was on Monday night. And on Monday night, Laura said, no one takes a wage from PA, neither me or Mark. And she made numerous claims about this. She even delightfully posted the lyrics from Tell Me Lies. She says, tell me lies, tell me sweet little lies. Who is lying, Mark or Laura? Neither of them are lying. Why are neither of them lying? Because the passage of time changes the answer. Laura did take a £500 per month wage, very small amount. No one I know works for £500 a month. Laura Towler did. She took £500 a month to keep her head above water for 4 months. She then set up Grandma Towler's, and her subscribe star rose over a certain level. And she said, Mark, I'd feel bad taking this money anymore. Thank you. I don't need it. When she gave her answer, does anyone get paid from PA? She was telling the truth. When I said only one person gets paid from PA, I was telling the truth because the question was asked months and months apart. Again, she presents this as if it's a smoking gun.
Months and months apart? No, you actually said this a month apart. You were asked on the stream with Phil you did on the was it the voice chat you did with Phil. That's Laura had taken a wage then. And then obviously a month later, like, she's saying that no one's taking the wage. Now, again, that could be the fact that, you said like correctly that, she had stopped taking the wage, right? Maybe that's true, but you weren't correct in saying that actually you did tell a poker, you're trying to attribute something that's happened months ago, but it's not. It's only in the last month that you've like cocked up on this one. Minor point, really.
It is not a smoking gun. It is a big, fat nothing burger. Finally, or nearly finally, we have 2 more questions. She goes on about Laura's tea business, trying to find out where Laura lives, trying to find out if it's registered properly, trying to find out anything she can about Grandma Towler's, and claiming that she is reporting Grandma Towler's to Leeds City Council under food, health and safety. This has to be one of the most despicable, detestable, spiteful and disgusting things I've heard tonight. And I would probably say it's the thing that angered me most that she's actually said, because Laura is such an incredible person. To attack her business and try to get it shut down through health and safety because you're so bitter and twisted about PA for no reason makes me sick. But then we heard what Colin had to say about accusations of him grooming somebody that he never did, and obviously that trumps what she's saying here. But she stoops as low in her accusations to post pictures of tea bags with moths on them, and then trying to imply in some way, whilst at the same time saying, I'm not implying Laura's tea bags have moths in them. She even went as far to find a report from an Indian that was written years ago saying sometimes insects find their way into tea bags. Well, you don't get any prizes for pointing that out. How many billions of tea bags get consumed a year? I don't know. But I'm guessing that when you have billions of any product consumed a year, there will be the odd insect or creature somehow get into the packaging. Does that mean Laura's tea has insects in it? Of course not. She's saying this because she wants people to try and get Laura's tea business investigated because she wants to hurt Laura.
No. Now, if you actually go back, yeah, Dion does say she's not implying that the tea bags were infested with bugs, right? No, she isn't saying that, Mark. She's literally said that. You're trying to twist her words now. The thing she's looking at is the fact that, rather than making this virtue signaling, oh, it's all disgusting, it's horrible, why don't you actually look at the fact that when looking for Grandma Towler's, where it's registered with Leeds City Council, you cannot find it. And that's under sole trader as well. There's no organization that's registered with Leeds City Council. If you're a sole trader, you must be. So that's what she's investigating there. Not whether the tea bags had bugs in it. But the fact is, right, the bugs thing was also, there is a discrepancy with the fact that on your packaging, Laura, you don't actually have any contact address. All companies are required to have a complaint address in which they can then write to. If something is wrong with your product, they can then write to and complain. You do not have that on your packaging. And yeah, there's definitely more to be looked into this incident. It doesn't look good with how things are with PA, but yeah, you definitely need to stop obfuscating, Mark. You keep trying to twist this. Like, this isn't this isn't what you're saying. It's the opposite.
Sickening. Genuinely annoys me. And the final thing she keeps saying is that I am a bully because I called Madfraz fat spaz. Yes, that's her final accusation. I called a guy who blew an operation to monitor Antifa, who has since...
I blew an operation? Are we talking about the Kenny Smith operation? That you supposedly I'm responsible for Kenny Smith being chucked out of all these high-level Antifa groups. In fact, should we actually play the voice note? Where is it? Charlie Big Potatoes. Different group. Is that it? 2 minutes 50. Yeah, I think that's it. Alright guys, let's play this.
Nobody has any of PA's databases. The information that was passed to the doctor, all those documents that come out, they're from Fraser. He had them because he was chosen to be on a team of people who were infiltrating the lefty websites. That's why he had those documents. They ended up in the hands of the doctor. Him and Kenny Smith were on a Antifa chat group infiltration team. Yeah, Kenny Smith has had accounts in with these Antifa fucking groups, and in some cases they've been in there for fucking close to a couple of years, and they were good fucking information resources. They were giving him information on what the fucking Reds were actually up to. Some of the groups that he was in were either very close to or actually at the top of the tree with fucking main organisers in them, and they were speaking openly and freely, and Kenny had managed to get himself in there. Along comes Fat Fawaz. Because he's a bedridden fat cunt and can't get out the fucking house, he was chosen to also jump on that team because at the time they thought he was trustworthy. Kenny built his profiles in there and got himself in a position of trust. He invites along Fat Fraser.
Never happened.
And gets him in there, ingratiates him into a couple of groups. Fat Fraser then turns Turk and leaves PA, and immediately Kenny is kicked out of all 7 or 8 groups that he had worked fucking hard to get himself into.
Right, if this is the incident they're talking about, you should watch a video on the channel here called Kenny Smith Passing Information, right? That video will explain everything that's in this Telegram group with a link to the actual group for so you can verify yourself with the screenshots. But I'll go over the fact that this incident. So Mark Collett saying that I have passed I've screwed an operation is not true, or if it has, it means that my conversation with the Doxers guy has led to Kenny being kicked out because I asked him a very specific question, and either one of two things happened. Kenny Smith was kicked out because he passed information that got people doxed within PA, or hundreds, tens, hundreds, maybe who knows how many people got kicked out because of that question, right? So either I've got either within Antifa's ranks, there's been a mass kicking of people in the last year of giving them information, or Kenny Smith has passed information that then has led him to be kicked out. You decide what the thing is. If he wants to continue with this accusation that I've fucked up some kind of operation, go watch it for yourself. Okay, let's go back to Mark and speaker.
Been talking to Antifa, and we have learnt recently has been in touch with Hope Not Hate, and apparently has been talking to the police as well. I mocked this guy by calling him Fat Spaz, and apparently that is a problem. She says he has underlying health conditions, and that's why he weighs 30 stone. Well,
where'd you keep getting the 30 stone from? Where'd you keep getting that from?
As good a grasp of the laws of thermodynamics as she does the criminal justice system and the idea of a smoking gun. Because the first law of thermodynamics, Dion, is that energy is never created or destroyed, it is only transferred. Madfraz, nor any other human being for that matter, can create fat cells out of nothing. If Madfraz could create fat cells out of nothing, he would be a miracle. In fact, NASA would probably be testing on him now to figure out how he creates cells without any energy. Madfraz is fat because he eats too much.
Yeah, guys, I've got a confession to make. I actually do work for NASA. Yeah, I work for NASA, and I can actually create fat cells out of nothing. Why is this example? It's like, so me having underlying health conditions, right? One being a heart condition, one being problems with my feet and muscles. Yeah, that doesn't contribute to the fact that I'm overweight. Yeah, I'm not saying I eat the right things. I'm not saying I'm fucking Jamie Oliver here with his fucking, just healthy diet shit. Come on. Just, it's like, why did you have to use that example, man? It's it's like, oh, it's funny. But yeah, okay.
He is fat because he transfers large amounts of energy from takeaways into fat cells. That is a scientific
Learning thermodynamics with Mark Collett and
fact. That is how you present scientific facts. That is something Dion should learn from. And that is the end of the questions. I'm sure she will say I haven't answered all of her questions and I've missed one or two, and that she'll have many more soon, but that is all I have to answer tonight. Now for my extended apology.
Right, before we get into that, right, okay, so he mentions in this about Hope Not Hate and the Doxers guy. Yeah, the Doxers guy did appear in my my DMs after I did that stream. The first stream I did actually on the channel, which was my experience in PA and what I, what I understood and like what I went through and like all the dodgy shit that's going on. So if you want to watch that, you can, and that will explain some of the things. But yeah, the Doctors guy did contact me after that. In fact, I was the guy who pointed out to everyone else in Dion's chat, right, at the time, it was the Doctors guy. I was like, yeah, this is the Doctors guy. That's it. So if that is talking to the Doctors guy, right? Other than after that, also then trying to get information in whereabouts to what Kenny Smith may potentially be doing, with doxing information. Because remember, he's got all your information, guys, in Scotland or in the UK, right? And all these people getting doxed is like, yeah, okay, it's a bit weird, So there's all that, and then there's the Hope Not Hate thing. Well, the Hope Not Hate thing was, again, the Doxers guy turned up in my DMs very recently, actually, when Hope Not Hate did their article about PA and the experiences he went through. The Doxers guy, this is, with the car incident with him in PA Scotland, right? When they had him in his car, right? Okay, so Hope Not Hate sought to contact me, and after reading their article that they released, they got several things wrong in that article, and it sounded like they were accusing me of being in National Action. Now, I've never been in National Action. That was way before my coming into nationalism. I was never there, right? But they were accusing me in this article, and I've got the screenshots here of that. Of the before and after screenshot of said article. I believe this is the Yes. This is the recut version, shall we say? This is the one where it just says a former PA member. Yeah. Hide that. David. Yeah. Okay. Right. And then we have the original article, which claimed that they believe at the time when monitored by PA, he also sent someone to check the address of his utility bill and confirm where he lived. When it came to Okay, so David also claims PA tried to send a former member of National Action to the passport office in Inverness for more information on a potential new recruit. Okay, so Hope Not Hate can't fucking figure its elbow from its fucking arse and don't know what fucking journalism is, because they actually they'd actually watched that video, they'd understand that the guy, right, who was asked to go to the passport office, or the registrar, shall we say, in Inverness, wasn't me, right? It was someone else who remained anonymous, right? And so they were conflating. So I was just like, after reading this out, I was like, what the fuck is this? Fucking dog's dinner. Like, can they actually get anything right? Like, and they're trying to accuse someone who's not a National Action member as well, or an ex-National Action member, from being in, So I was just like, oh, okay, so you're trying to say this other guy is. So I was curious, and I was like, Hope Not Hate want to speak to you. Oh, okay, that's interesting. Yeah, sure. Why not? I'm curious, right? And then we get on to like what was said between me and Hope Not Hate. Which Matthew Collins, head of fucking chief intelligence doodad, sent me a message. Oh, it's a big one. There we are. Right, okay, so he sends me, and he's just like, yeah, there we go. It's like Fraser, and I was like, yes. This is Matthew from Hope Not Hate. Our mutual acquaintance said you may want to talk off the record. I said, I believe he said he wanted to talk to me. Yeah, would you be willing to have a chat about what? Your time in NA and PA, all of the record, not for publication, just our research. NA, where did you get that load of bollocks from? We were told you'd been in NA. That is not true. Fine. If not, we can talk about PA, etc. Who, who is telling you I was in NA? I need the article. I read your article you did. Mean to imply that was me? He says, yeah. Is there a reason you didn't use my name? Yeah. What was it? Okay. What was it? Writing an article about a bunch of violent idiots. There's nothing nice about pointing out a former member. So you wrote your article without knowing if I was a former member? Question mark. Okay, so knowing a former member. Yep. Okay. I was told you had left PA. They took the piss out of you, etc., etc. Said you had left. Was refugee by under contract. The guy called David in your article wouldn't say mutual contact. No, that's what I said. He's our mutual contact, meaning theirs, right? Okay, so he's the one who told you I was NA. Are you saying you were not? Obviously, we don't reveal sources. Okay. Are you going to edit your article now when I tell you I'm not? Not what? He replies. Is it not libelous to accuse someone of being part of a prescribed group in the United Kingdom? Question mark. Who accused you of that? You wrote an article about a former NA and PA member with you have now in this very chat confirmed you were talking about myself. When asked if you could provide evidence I was in NA, you yet to provide again a grain of evidence that my friend is a libelous accusation. He then replies, would it be easy if I rang you? There seems to be some kind of confusion in the space between written form. So at this point, he's panicking, right? He tries to ring me and I don't actually pick up the phone. If you're denying being a former member, I can change it so it's no issue. And yeah, there we are. He, he changes it to remove the PA member. There we go. That was my interaction with Hope Not Hate. Did I give them information, or did I tell them to stop writing shitty fucking journalism? You decide. So please do not try and fucking slander me with, oh, you stoked to Hope Not Hate. Oh, you talk to the doctors guy, right? I'll talk to who the fuck I like, right? Yeah. But here's the thing, I'm not going to betray anyone here on fucking grounds of, oh, because PA's fucking, called fat and shit. That's fucking childish and fucking immature, yeah? Right? Now, with regards to the police, this is the one that I'm a bit kind of, are they saying that I talked to the police because I filed a police report with the members of the 2 members who came to my house or whoever they were, right? Are they talking that I talked to the police then? Is that not allowed? Again, with the example with Theo earlier, am I not allowed to defend myself against such things? What, it actually comes in very handy, a police report, when 2 men turn up at 7 a.m. for processes later on down the line that are going to be happening, right? Okay. Now, there is that, or there is are they talking about the time that, well, twice police have turned up at my house. One was before I even had left PA. It was actually the day before. I believe it was actually, yeah, the day before, like, I officially, like, was told by Charlie I'm a traitor, and I said, fuck this, right? Because I took Chris's side, yeah, in this whole fucking drama, yeah, because it's fucking gay what they were coming out with. Literally fake and gay. Oh, Natty talked to MI5. Oh, he wanted to know about Chris. Oh, wait, was Natty talking to MI5? Was he talking to the police then as well? Right, so the police came around and I basically just told them, they asked me questions. I was like, I didn't know what the fuck this was. I just said, no comment. Like I was meant to, right? When you've been told to, right? And then the second time they came around after the stream and they wanted to know they wanted to, like, and I just said to them, look, I've I'm not answering any more questions now for a bit. So, there you go. If they're gonna come around again, like, what is that? I just keep saying, well, I put out everything. That's it. So I haven't talked to the police. So what are you saying? Right? Where are these accusations? It's just to slander me because obviously, yeah, like I've said, and they keep trying to throw at me. They keep coming at this thing that, oh, he's a character witness. Yes, I am. And calling, intimidating a witness to someone else's, crimes, right? Again, it's Kenny Smith are being in prison for what? Having information on their thing, thinking they're safe. Yeah, that's not what I want. That's what I want nationalism to be. Yeah. So, if you're intimidating me about that, so then, yeah, Charlie, continue. Get smart, continue. It's only going to end badly for you, I'll say that. Right. Okay, so let's finish this up.
Apologies for foisting this woman upon you. My apologies for allowing her at PA events. The buck stops with me. I am the leader. I am like the football manager. I am the person that gets the blame for picking the wrong team members. She was a wrong team member. I am the boss and I hold my hands up. If you want to shout at me for it, if you want to send me rude text messages about it, feel free. I can take it. I promise. But I will say this, there are mitigating circumstances. When PA was set up, we were welcoming. We still are welcoming. When we set up PA, we wanted to be open. We still are open. And we pledged to allow people in. Some people who had had fallouts with us in the past. Some people who would...
If you actually want to talk about the glory days of PA and what attracted people like me and that to ethnic nationalism, it's because you didn't have any of this fucking shit, Mark. This up that summer last year.
Done things in the past that they weren't proud of. As long as they hadn't worked with the police or Hope Not Hate, they were allowed in. And we said everyone got a clean slate, and that sometimes goes wrong. In this case, that went wrong. And what I will say to you all is, had I started stopping people from coming in, had I started turning people away, I'd have been shot for that as well. We tried to be as welcoming as possible, and we were nothing but kind to this woman. But that kindness has not been repaid. And as I said, I have given you my apology for my part in that. I am not somebody who can't own up to mistakes. I am not somebody who can't take criticism. And those that work with me closely on a daily basis regularly give me criticism, regularly tell me when I've done something that is incorrect, and I happily change things that I have done wrong when I've done them wrong. And I will happily admit when something is not right. And again,
Then I hope you watch this stream, Mark, and correct everything we've been saying.
I've made that clear tonight. Now, the other question at the end is going to be, is she mad? Is she bad? Is she a fed? I don't know. I don't know her motivations. Thankfully, I do not live in her head. Well, I suppose I do live in her head in a certain way, but you know what I mean. I've presented you with lots of actual evidence. I've answered every question she's asked, and you can draw your own conclusions. Charlie's had his say. Colin's had his say. I'm not going to tell you what to believe. But I do know one thing. She is bad for nationalism. And I do know for a fact she is banned from the vast majority of ethno-nationalist events and conferences, both here in the UK and all across the continent. She now tells people quite joyfully that she is no longer a nationalist. And I have one final message from her to read tonight. And she says the following, and this is quite interesting. The point I'm making here is that whilst people are ripping each other's throats out over Stalin and Hitler, an agenda is being played out with it, which affects all of us, black or white. This agenda is relying on division to keep us all at each other's throats. Well, that sounds like David Ickeism, and it is, because that's where she's going to now. She's been a 1% biker gang. She's been an EDL follower, a TR, Tommy Robinson girl. She's been an ethno-nationalist, and now she's in with David Icke. I wonder how much damage she will do to his movement. And you're thinking now, Mark, it's over. But we have a bonus round. Everyone
bonus
loves
round,
a bonus
guys.
round. Charlie,
Yay!
you like a bonus round?
Certainly do, mate. Certainly do. And
do you know what the bonus round's going to be about, my Scouse friend?
No, I actually don't. This will be a surprise for me too.
Well, this is about 4 people. It is about Chris Mitchell, Anglo Joe, Richard Lumby, and another guy who I'm going to mention in a second. And I'm dealing with the first 3 first, because I don't know if the other guy was actually involved in this. But those 3 and the other unmentioned individual did a stream about PA on Monday night, which was a drama stream. It had far less people watching than are listening to this now. In that stream, Chris Mitchell and Anglo Joe made several comments defending Madfraz. They publicly stated he hasn't doxed anyone, and Chris Mitchell stated publicly, this is all recorded, and there will be a recording placed by Charlie in the speaker chat now. They said that he'd never doxed anyone, and essentially he was a good-hearted, decent fellow. Is that correct, Charlie? Is that what they said?
It certainly is.
And later that very night...
Oh, okay. My question then is, who have I doxed? Can you point out who I doxed? Who have I, within PA, like, who have I actually doxed? Question open. Please get back to me. I won't hold my breath.
They hosted one of these Telegram chats in which Chris Mitchell admitted that despite him and Anglo Joe defending Madfraz, and saying that he was a decent guy and that he hadn't doxed anyone, they both knew that he had been in touch with Fash Doxes and been very pally with him.
Right, okay, here's the other, okay, so the Fash Doctors thing, right, the pally thing, right, here's the thing, and this may shock you, I'm actually a nice guy, and I'm nice to everyone, like, even if you're a complete fucking scumbag, you'll very rarely see me, like, bite with, like, any kind of nasty kind of derogatory, like, thing, character assassination, ad hom, because I just don't believe in that kind of stuff. And I was, the Doctors guy. I absolutely fundamentally disagree with anything he's done to our people and that. But I'm not gonna be a fucking cunt to him, just like everybody else would say. Probably, I've heard people post memes to him about, wishing he would die and shit. He's probably heard that. You probably get that a lot, right? I'm just not that kind of guy. Like, no, I'm just not. I'm not gonna tell someone to go die, even if they're my fucking, worst political enemy. Because I actually believe in conversation, and guess what? Anglo Joe believes in that as well, right? I've got his transcript because he talked to Fash Doxers as well, right? So either me and Joe are reprehensible because we've talking to one guy, right, who we disagree with, both of us, or we just smear by association, because that's all this is, right? Because we've talked to this guy, they're looking for any kind of excuse, right? But let's continue with this.
Chris Mitchell describes the messages as if they had a very warm relationship. He then, Chris Mitchell states that he knows.
Sorry for being nice to people. Fucking hell.
Madfraz had been in touch with Hope Not Hate.
I've already covered
but
that.
He didn't bring this up on the stream, and he still called him a good guy. I don't know any good guys that informed to Hope.
Right, okay, so why was it not brought up on the stream, right? Because it had nothing to do with the stream. Like, and I wanted to actually make a video about the fucking state of journalism, like, against ethno-nationalists. Because it's fucking shit. Like, the amount of, with the ferret articles and this Hope Not Hate article, it's fucking atrocious. Like, but why I can't say, and well, also because, other people I want to give that information to eventually. I just sat on it because I chose to. It was none of their business. Chris was a fucking, I'll say it again, he was a fucking gobshite at the time. We were in a heated discussion. They fundamentally disagree with that decision of mine. It was my decision to make. Right? That's my choice. I'll do things my way, right? Okay?
Not hate. I don't think anyone else does. And they sat there covering this up on a live stream, attacking us, and then later admitted to it. Both recordings have now been made public. Nothing was secretly recorded. One of them was a live chat on this. They didn't think anyone else was in there. They're having a boozy live chat together.
Secretly recorded, does that include a guy coming in the chat room and not announcing that he's going to record it? That is secretly being recorded, so yes, actually it is. And in fact, maybe that's something to look in legally too. I don't know, but yeah, you're not telling the truth there, Mark. It was a secret recording, just like that ITV report, right? It was a secret recording. No one announced it, right?
Didn't realize somebody was in the room recording it all. And there was another guy on the stream called Richard Lumby. Richard Lumby and Anglo Joe run an organization, and Richard Lumby was taken aback when Laura Towler said people in that organization are doxing other people. Well, I can tell you this. We have absolute concrete evidence that Richard Lumby is working with Dion Muller. Richard Lumby has passed Dion Muller information about Laura's tea business. Richard Lumby is attempting to help Dion Muller take down Laura's tea business. He's a bitter, horrible man who is working with Dion Muller. Anglo Joe and Chris have worked with Madfraz. Chris is still in groups with Madfraz. They both know Madfraz is working or has been in contact with Hope Not Hate.
And as I've proven, is being in contact, like when they write a shitty fucking article trying to smear me, it's like, is that a crime to then say to them, look, fucking correct that shit, or I'm going to fucking sue you for libel? Is that a crime? Did I dox anyone through Hope Not Hate? No. Did I pass them any information that was useful? No. Did I get Hope Not Hate guys banned out of Brit Talk and any of the other groups, 37 and that? Yeah, I did. We passed that information on. Guess what? I got rid of Matthew Collins from those groups. Oh, so I don't think this kind of like this petty kind of guilt by association is gonna wash after you just see the context of it. And I hope it doesn't, because if you still think that, like, through everything that I've like tried to do here, that I'm some kind of like evil person for doing things my way just because, oh, you don't like it, well, fuck you guys, right? Remember, your guys are here calling me a traitor and calling me fat spaz, right? Well, I'll do shit my way, right? I'll do what I want. I'll talk to who I want, but you can be rest assured, right? This is a solemn pledge. I am not gonna fucking give any of these people any information that could harm anyone. Yeah? I'll fucking write that in my fucking like grave if you want, yeah? It's fucking cross my heart, hope to die, fucking stick a needle in my eye. What do I have to fucking do? Like, just because you don't like, because you got this thing of feds and like reds and journos and shit. You may have that. I don't. I'm not as paranoid as you guys. Yeah, that's it. It's all paranoia.
What's more, Joe and Anglo Joe and Lumbey state that they don't tolerate doxers, yet they tolerate Chris Mitchell, who posted pictures of his nationalist ex-girlfriend in numerous chats in her underwear, in skimpy outfits, and in her bikini in order to both dox and shame her. If you get involved, especially if you're a woman, with Anglo Joe or Richard Lumbey, they would happily expose you to someone like Chris Mitchell. They would happily work with Dion Moller, and we've seen what kind of woman she is. And they would also praise Madfraz on streams, despite the fact they know who he's passing information to.
Past anything, my god, this is pure fucking bile, like character assassination, like 101. Let her just fucking smear someone and hope it sticks, right? Let's hope there's no actual evidence to suggest that actually that's not the case, because that's all it is. Fucking pathetic. The state of nationalism for fucking PA, Jesus.
These people were all upset when Laura Towler said they weren't to be trusted. Laura was 100% right. Now, there was another guy on that stream. I'm not going to mention him by name. And the reason I'm not mentioning him by name is because...
Yeah, let's find out why Vinny's not mentioned.
I'm not about to besmirch him. And why am I not about to besmirch him? Because I'm not sure that he knew that Madfraz had passed information to Hope Not Hate. And I think if the other guy in question knew that Madfraz had been passing information to Hope Not Hate, and I also think if he knew that Richard Lumbey had been passing information to Dion Moller, that I don't think he'd have appeared on a stream with them. I don't like the guy. I think the guy's a jerk. He doesn't like me, but I will be fair with him. I don't think he knew about these things, and I should expect that if he wants to clear his name fully, he will disavow Chris Mitchell and Anglo Joe for sticking up for...
Clear divide and conquer tactics, isn't it? You guys now must disavow, pick out Richard Lumbey. This was what happened with Phil, right? Yeah, he picked out Phil, tried to get him on a stream, tried to like butter him up, tried to say, oh, no, you need to disavow these people or join PA, it's we've come to some kind of agreement. It's just classic fucking divide and conquer here. Like, now you need to disavow Anglo Joe and Chris Mitchell. Like, because, of a nothing burger, as Mark put it in the fucking stream, This is nothing. This is just them trying to fucking sling shit and hope it sticks, right?
Or somebody in touch with Hope Not Hate, and he wouldn't have anything to do with people passing information to Dion Muller, the police, or Fash Doxes, which is what that circle does. And I also would imagine that any decent nationalist would take a very dim view of a man in nationalism doxing his.
Oh, they talk about concern trolls a lot. Oh, that's just a huge concern troll there. Any decent nationalist, guys, you're decent nationalists, aren't you? You won't want to be associated with these people, even though there's no actual fucking evidence that they are doing what I'm saying. Let's just make up fucking shit, and again, hope it sticks. Let's concern troll you to do something absolutely not needed.
Ex-girlfriend and putting up sensitive pictures of her in states of undress all over Telegram. That makes me feel sick.
Yeah, I don't agree with what Chris did with the thing, with the photos. I don't think many people do. He fucked. Yeah, he probably fucked up. He fucked up there. But then Charlie and Mark, you did pass around a video of Chris attempting suicide, didn't you? You were the one passing around that shit. So, are you doing something like you're passing around a vulnerable guy? And Mark, we know your past with not young Nazi and proud and wanting pushing people to suicide. There's a clip of that, of you saying that kind of stuff. It kind of like doesn't look good, does it, mate? I mean, yeah, looks a bit dodgy, right? So you're passing around this shit, and you're the one with the moral high ground. Don't think so here.
And these people, they should be exposed. They should spend less time talking about PA. They should do their own thing, but they keep talking about us. And that is why we've had a bonus round tonight. And these bottom feeders have been exposed for who they are and who they're passing information to. So, Charlie, do you have anything to add?
No.
I think you basically covered everything there, mate. It's it's the normalization of working with and abiding grasses within your midst. If I found out somebody was speaking to and pally with Hope Not Hate, and
it just keeps changing the story now.
Reg.
Now I'm pally with Hope Not Hate.
I don't know if it's just like being brought up a different way.
Mm-hmm.
If I find out somebody speaking to is basically a grass, if you abide that person in your group, then you're just as bad as far as I'm concerned. This is the problem with British nationalism, and it has been for a long time. People abide this nonsense and this grassing and this culture of like screenshotting and sending and all this other gay, ridiculous stuff. It needs to be completely cut out and ostracized if we're ever to get anywhere. And people like that, Madfraz, who think it's perfectly fine to speak to the plot and to speak to the Antifa and to collect information and on people in these circles and to document things that he can use to then go to the police with.
What have I documented to go to the police with? Where is this fucking coming from? What have I documented to take to the police? Are you talking about the fucking dodgy shit you're doing with the pen drive shit? The fucking hell. Like, is that it? Is that what you're claiming? So, like, blowing the whistle on your fucking gay ops is now considered, taking information to the police. I put that out there for everyone else to see it, to get the fuck out of PA, yeah? This fucking literal fucking honey trap, yeah? Get the fuck out. Like, it's not for the fucking police. I don't give a shit what the police do. They do what they do, right? But you, as members, need to see this shit and think that down the road, this is going to lead to fucking tears. That's what you need to do. Right? But if that's going to information the police because of what they're monitoring the groups, right? Yeah, they probably are monitoring the groups. They're monitoring your groups, Charlie. The ones where you had Machete guy in, yeah. They've probably seen all that shit. Probably why you fucking nuked your channels, yeah? You're right. Because there is dodgy shit in nationalism and you should fucking get rid of it. But you don't seem to want to do that. There's other things. James Shand, you know, the lies there with fucking Cornelius and how he actually knew him beforehand, right? Stuff like that, you know, the dodgy shit that they're defending, yeah? But I'm the grass. I'm this evil fucking being for standing on a more high ground and saying that, no, I don't want this for nationalism. Get bent. Fucking hell.
These people disgust me. And yeah, they should really disgust everybody in nationalism, and they should be completely ostracised. And I hope that the people who you're talking about, Mark, I hope they heed your words and they do ostracise them, because if they don't, then I can't see them going very far.
Well, it has been a very long day and a very long evening for me. And I did say that I was tired, but I also said I would answer questions, and we do have 20 minutes to do that. So I don't want any crazy people screaming or going mad.
Yeah, and that's it. Then they just ask some questions and stuff, and it's well, that's the end of it. That is the end of it. So you guys take away what you want. I'll put in the comment section a link to the Telegram channel where you can see all this evidence. And yeah, we'll leave it there, right? Thanks for watching, and I hope to. Well, I hope this is the last time I have to fucking defend myself in public to these people. I really do. Thank you guys for watching. Take care and good night.